Boom. King's Court MMA. Your guy Obasogi.
Yes, your guy Mardy.
Free UFC 313 preview show. We're back. We've been on tour, a couple of gyms around the country,
That's it.
Scotland to West Yorkshire and everywhere in between. Hope you've been enjoying the content. Back to cover a big numbered card. We've been quiet for the last few weeks still. What's been happening, Mardy?
It has indeed, yeah. Just recuperating, getting ready for the numbered cards that are going to come up. Obviously, big fights. We've got big fight numbered cards and fight nights obviously coming up as well. So, yeah, we're loading. We're loading, and obviously as the fight cards in the UK as well start to ramp up, we shall start to ramp up as well, giving you the much needed content that you deserve.
Yes, indeed. We're simmering nicely. All roads for us. Obviously, we're biased. Is going to lead to London. Going to be trying to see what we can get in terms of behind the scenes footage, conversations with whoever we can grab our hands on.
Yes.
Going back quickly to the champions picks, I think Marty, you had a good result on the weekend. I'm pretty sure you had a Cape as your Manel
Yes.
Cape as your champ at the end of the year, and he delivered the goodies with a victory on Saturday night. Don't know if you managed to catch any of that or see some of the slight controversy as well around the win.
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights. I didn't see the whole match, but I saw some of the highlights. Yeah, I was a bit, when we heard who got the title fight. Obviously, I've totally forgotten his name now. The New Zealand chap, Izzy's boy.
Kai Kara France.
Yes, Kai
Yeah,
Kara
yeah.
France. So he's next up in line. So I was teetering between the two. When he got announced as the title shot, I was like, oh crap. But now I think Cave has put himself in line to have the next one, really and truly.
Mm.
So yeah, it was an interesting fight as well. I didn't know what to make of it, but he got the win at the end of the day. So that's all I needed to do.
Yeah, I thought he outclassed his opponent. To be fair,
Mm.
but yeah, I think there were about three accidental. I'd say, and they weren't pokes. They were more like eye scrapes that like rakes across the face where the fingers were blatantly open, and as the opponent was kind of moving out the way, it kind of like scraped across his like line of vision and stuff. I think the ref caught what.
Mm.
Well, I don't think the ref called one, and the opponent called one, which the ref then stopped, but then only gave him 25 seconds and then said no, carry on. And then there were
Yeah,
another two where the fighter was trying to get the ref's attention to tell him like it had happened, and the referee didn't make any moves. So obviously Manel Cape had to keep on fighting.
mm.
And then I think one of them did happen in the closing sequence as well. So I felt a bit I felt a bit sorry for his opponent, but at the same time, I think Manel Cape, without that, did more than enough to take the wins. To be fair, so yeah, on to the next for Manel Cape and him and Pantoja. Pantoja dialed in virtually at the end, and they had a very respectful back and forth. It was actually really enjoyable. It was quite refreshing to see that there was no like Pantoja went on about a 6 7 minute dialogue of just how much he respected Manel Cape, how much he liked his style, how much like he was excited to see other exciting fighters come up, and he was like, I'm very protective of my division. I don't want people talking down on my division. I want people like Manel Cape to keep on having exciting fights. And basically he's like he wants people to eat in it. He needs opponents. He needs
Yeah,
interest in his division. He's thinking as a businessman, but he was very respectful, and they're going back and forth about how they respect each other as family men and fathers. And even Usman, I think Kamaru Usman was on the board, and he was like, "Yeah, like we don't need all this bad mouthing and talking. Sometimes you can just sell a fight on respect," and that's the vibe they were both
mm.
giving me. So, and then they both respectfully said, "Yeah, but I still want to destroy you in the octagon. I want to take the belt off you." And he's like, "Well, you come and get the belt, you know." So it was nice. It was refreshing to see for once from the UFC because it's been a while.
It's true. That's very true. And as you said, yeah, he's a businessman at the end of the day. Obviously, Dana White has more than once obviously teetered on the brink of maybe getting rid of that flyweight division. So yeah, anything that they can do, they need to perform, they need to show out, and it seems like Pantoja is obviously leading that way. So yeah, good on him.
Yeah, and I think you obviously, that'd be interesting. Obviously, want them two to fight. That's both our champ picks in the mix there. So, but
Yeah.
we digress slightly. 313. Talking about bad blood. These two, a lot of bad blood between them. A lot of Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers, and the trigger fingers can come out on the weekend. but it's been a while. I mean, they've been going at it for a while, Pereira and Ankalaev, and
Mm,
the talk has been that Ankalaev will be his kryptonite because of the wrestling and because he's from Dagestan and all the rest of it. But
mm.
when you go through the record and if you know the game, Ankalaev ain't got a single submission in the UFC.
It's not what he does. It's not what he does at all. Everybody just hears Dagestan and Kalaev, and they're like, oh, okay, he's a wrestler. And yeah, he's a Sambo champ, but he doesn't do it. He stands on the
Doesn't.
feet and bangs.
He doesn't. He doesn't. And but then, he has put it out there that he's gonna do that against Poltan.
Mm.
Do we now? do we now switch? Do we now switch up the game plan and actually, what? It's Poltan. It's Shama time. It's Shama. Do we now bring out the sambo and go wrestle heavy? Because let's be honest, Poltan, when he touches you, it's usually one. Against his last fight against Roundtree, it was cumulative, but look what he did to Roundtree's face. Roundtree's face will never be the same again. Like, do you really,
Still,
really want to risk it for that biscuit?
yeah, no. And if he doesn't to start with, he's going to be forced to go to that wrestling style. So one way or the other way, my man's going to wrestle.
And I think I recall when they had yeah, he had the title shot. Obviously, he had it before against Jan Blakovic, and I recall that I thought he won that. To be fair, I thought he did get robbed. I thought it wasn't. The thing is, everyone calls out like it was a stinker of a fight. It wasn't. It wasn't a stinker of a fight. It was actually a decent fight. It was the fact that Blakovic took his leg out, like chopped his leg up, and he was injured, which then resulted in Ankalaev. Then, like you just touched on, he did resort to the wrestling in that fight. He did take
Mm,
Blakovic down numerous times, but for some reason, the ground and pound wasn't really there. I remember it was just more,
yeah,
dominant position, but not being dirty with it, not getting gritty with it, not throwing enough while he was down there. It was more,
yeah,
he was just happy. And obviously the guy was injured, but he was more just happy to be on top. So
yeah.
I personally thought he did enough to win that fight, and I was personally shocked at the draw, and I think Yan even was shocked at the
He
draw. I
was
think I
shocked.
remember Yan at the time was like, no, he won.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. He even said it like, yeah, it was. So I think everything around it made it to be sort of a stinker in that case. And I think what added to that is because the belt was vacated. The belt was vacated, so nobody was the champ. And Dana was pissed off because of he allowed two people that were challenging fight for the title, and everything surrounded it. Obviously, just left a bad taste in people's mouths. But I
Mm,
think really for both camps and Ankalaev himself, but also Pereira, they could learn a lot from looking at that fight and looking what Ankalaev did in that fight and what Jan was able to do to Ankalaev. Because if
those
Jan's
leg
able to
kicks.
do that, Pereira's gonna feast on them. And that, if it's not the leg kicks that makes Ankalaev, shoot for a takedown, it will be the hands. But
Mm,
yeah, so everybody's saying, as you said, everybody's saying that this is going to be a wrestler Kryptonite versus Pereira. I, for one, don't think this is Pereira's biggest challenge. The only thing I think that would make it that is probably the size of Ankalaev because he's a big boy.
yeah, yeah,
He's a
and
big boy.
I completely agree. I think it would be different if, for example, we were looking at a light heavyweight Ankalaev who basically had the skill set and the gas tank of Moab. Then I'd be like, yo, that's kryptonite. But Ankalaev, he's not like that. He's not built like that. So
Mm,
I completely agree with you. I think Pereira doesn't need to do anything different versus what he was fought before. We've already seen that he can defend takedowns. He's ready for that as well, and I'm sure it's something he's constantly evolving in. And then you touched upon what Jan did with those leg kicks. Yo, Jan is a big guy as well. Jan's legs are literally, each leg is a tree trunk.
yeah.
Pereira's got the technique which I think he was talking to Izzy about when they were both cage side. He was telling him how he turns his leg in and what he does, and I'm thinking, yo,
He's like,
um,
huh?
so I think he's already got the tools.
Mm,
Um, to do what he needs to do against Ankalaev. But I'll throw this into the mix. Obviously, Ankalaev must know, like, that this is his last shot. Like, the UFC effectively have tried to do him dirty for the last 3 years. I think that fight was in 2022. They put
Long
everyone
ago.
else up against Pereira but him. He's been pretty much
Mm,
ranked number one, stroke two in that whole time. They've let
yeah.
the whole queue jump ahead of him. They've even let, I think, he was ranked 8 or 9, Roundtree, get a shot before him. So he
Mhm.
must know that this is not his one and only shot because he had one before, but this is like do or bust for him really if he's going to get the gold in this
100%.
organization.
100%, and from no fault of his own, and this is where I think the bad blood has come from, because it's unusual there to be bad blood. They don't really see much of each other, but it's because Ankalaev feels hard done by. He's taking it out on Pereira. He's saying, hey, Pereira, you're the champ, you should have pushed to fight him. And Pereira, obviously, he's just there, put somebody in front of me, I'll eat. He's had 4 fights. This will be his fourth fight in the space of a 12-month period.
I think it might be.
It's crazy.
I think it might be less because I'm sure he had the three. So when we look at Roundtree was October. Prohaski, Prohaski,
Hadley's done you there.
Prohaski was June. Hill was April,
Yeah.
and then Pascal again. So yes, this will be four in that, in like you said, that 12-month span, which is nuts. But
Crazy.
then when
It's
you look at
crazy.
those three defensive, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, he had those. It was 7. So we're saying in the last 12 months, but he had 3 defenses in 7 months. It wasn't
That's
even a
it.
whole calendar year. Between April and October 2024 is when he dispatched Hill, Prohaska, and Roundtree in the space of 7 months.
That's activity like I've never heard before. The only people that come close to
All
that is Volk.
TKOs, all TKOs. Like Roundtree was the one who took him the furthest into the fourth, and look what he did to him.
Yeah, that's true. That is very
It's
true. And I'm thinking actually,
activity beyond belief.
that is, and I was thinking actually, well, because he fought so often, there was so many chances. And I was thinking, obviously, that's probably a reason why Ankalaev is so annoyed as well. But was Ankalaev injured? But no, he fought Rakic was in October, and then he
Yeah,
fought obviously Johnny Walker in January. So there was
yeah.
plenty of opportunities for Ankalaev to get a title shot. This is sickening. This is
That's what
absolutely
I'm saying.
sickening.
If anything, the one that really pushed the boundary to me, which I touched on, was the Roundtree one.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because
That was.
like, think about it. No one saw that coming.
Mm,
Not only that, Roundtree got the shot October the 6th. That fight was. So Ankalaev fought Rakic on October the 26th. So he could have made that October date. They were training.
yeah,
They were both in camps. Probably had the same length of camps at the same time. But
yeah,
yet, rather than pick him, they went to number 8. Like
and
the disrespect.
yeah. It's true, and I hope Ankalaev is building this. He's using that momentum. He's using that all the things that have been put against him just to
Mm,
put it into this fight camp, because, as you said, this might be his last chance, and he can do it. He can do it. The people that Hill has not Hill that Pereira's fought, have they been as great striking? Probably. Prohaska, obviously, he's a great striker. But Ankalaev been knocking people out, man, head
mm,
kicks. Of late, obviously, he has had a few decisions, like to the Rakic one. Rakic he's been on a skid, and he's taken Rakic to a decision. You want to be finishing guys. So in
mm.
terms of past activity, you'd probably give it to Pereira, but we want to see Ankalaev get back to his ways of just finishing people, inflicting his will on them, mixing it up. But if it's going to be a kickboxing fight, at the end of the day, you're going to pick one guy, and you're going to pick AP. Alex Pereira, poor Tom.
I throw in another caveat into the mix because I genuinely think this year,
Mm,
overall, I think there'll be a few exceptions, but I think the majority of this year we're going to see the year where the old guard fall off and the younger guys start taking over. Because when you look at all the division, and I think I was seeing, I was thinking about it, and I've kept dropping hints to you and to some of the other guys as well. Going now, this year's I'm in my head from MMA terms. I'm calling it the year of newness, the year of transformation. I just feel it. I feel like a lot of these old guard are just going to fall away now because they've been around for so long. When you just look at the lightweight division, for example, you look at all the average age there, like everyone's like respectfully, when you think
Mm.
of prime, peak athletic prime in any sport, what do they say? 26 to 28, 28, 26 to 28,
Yeah.
26 to 29 is your prime. And then after that, biologically, you lose muscle mass. Maintaining is harder if you're cutting weight at a lower division, and we can get to that with Ilya one day. It becomes harder as you age.
Mm.
Like when you look at lightweight division, I think average age is 33, 34, the top 10. And
Yeah.
then the youngest like contender you've got in the whole top 15 is Arman at 28. He's the youngest.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a mature
and
division.
and that's happening across most of the divisions where you're looking at now. You're looking at 33, 34 being the average age of the top 15,
Mm.
with maybe one who's still in their 20s. But like it's crazy now when we think of the time of John Bones coming in and being the youngest champ at 25.
23.
So
23.
23, and then even like an exception to the rule yesterday of everyone getting out last year, of everyone getting older, was Ilya winning it at what, 27, 28. So
Yeah.
he's winning it in his prime,
He's the
but that
only
doesn't happen.
champion sub 30. He's the only anomaly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's
And then
crazy.
when you look at all the top 15s, you're like, you know, in like again in MMA terms, old. The lightweight is just a lightweight's classic. It's just a merry-go-round of the same names of okay,
Mm.
Justin, okay, Charles Olives, okay, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is a Chandler, it's just the same names, big names. Poirier, Islam's not a young spring chicken either. What,
It's
33? I
true.
want to say.
It's true. And
But
we'll get to that in the next one because that's
we'll get
very
that.
interesting. That's very
So,
interesting. You say
so
that.
I'm throwing it into the mix now. Ankalaev's only 32.
Yeah. Okay.
Pereira's 37.
So it's young in respect to these sort of people in their 30s that we're saying, in terms of people coming up. So yeah.
The 32 is in UFC terms is actually is a spring chicken. That's a
Yeah.
young 32. So he's in prime position now. The fact that he's going up, and I'm excited to see Pereira because in my head I think we're going to see a Pereira who is fit, as in we've now learned like that crazy one he had in the 7 months we had three title fights. There was something wrong with him every time, like a toe
Mm.
here, or he was injured here, and he was fighting through injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm also concerned that, one, is it come too soon? Did he need at the end of the day, he's 37, probably going 38. Did he need a little bit more of a longer break to recharge? It looks like he's been busy, going on a world tour, spending time in Australia, going to Drake concerts. So he's definitely touched that good old Drake curse in person. It looks like he's having a great time doing lots of stuff on social media and with influencers and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a bit, I'm a bit concerned. I'm like,
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as people are making out. That it's just going to be the Poltan show. I think there's going to be a lot of variables that are going to make this interesting.
100%. And it's interesting that you say that. Pereira's here for a good time, not a long time. He's here to cash checks and bounce. And his activity speaks for itself. That's why he's done it. He knows he's not a young chicken. He knows, hey,
Yeah,
while I'm champ, let me just get these pay-per-view points and cash in. He's
yeah,
been MIA. He's been MIA. Like, he's been doing what a champ does when he's not got a fight booked. Man's got a fight booked. Man's not with his number one trainer. He's not not his number one trainer, but he's not
not
with
with
Glover.
Glover.
Like, man's just been enjoying himself. Is his head in
Exactly.
it?
I'm
Is his
glad
head
you've
in
seen
it?
it. I'm glad you've seen it as well, because I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I shouldn't be seeing you on social media doing viral stuff or pretending with what's his face, Polinio Cruz or whatever his name is, that you're dustbins and there's dustbin girls with bundas driving around and picking up the rubbish. So you're
That
pretending
was funny.
you're in
That was funny. That was funny.
I'm seeing him with and then I even saw him. I'm seeing him with random people just pop up on my feed. I'm like, eh? I can't remember her name, but she's like a fitness influencer who she's in great shape. But when people go, oh, natty or not, she's
Yeah.
not. She takes steroids. She's
Yeah,
openly talking
she's
about
not
it.
nice at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm seeing her like in the gym with like influencers, not even fighters. And I'm like, huh? This isn't training. This is like a photo shoot. Like you should be, like you just said, you should be in camp. And I have similar sentiment. If Global was there, this stuff would not be going down.
Exactly.
This
Exactly.
stuff would, with Plinio, I think they're both on the same trajectory of we're here for a good time, not a long time, because
Yeah.
he's always there. He's his translator, you know. So when Pereira was speaking to the girls, he's probably throwing in, "Hey, don't forget one for me too. You buy
Yeah,
one, you
that's
get one free." I say, "You buy one, you get one free," and
it.
and then he's having a good time there. Then he's with his sister at karate combat, and then she
Mm,
wins, and they're on the side and they're dancing.
that's-
Like I'm just like, yo,
His head's gone,
I'm
mate.
not.
I'm telling you.
I'm not like if someone were to put a gun to my head now and go put money on one, I would probably put it on Ankalaev because I think Ankalaev, one, he's going to be angry at the organization. Two,
Mm,
he's got nothing. I'm not seeing him on socials. I don't. I never expect to see him on socials anyway. But I'm
mm,
sure he is training like he's never trained before,
yeah,
knowing that you only get one shot. Yes, this is his second shot, but this is
yeah.
one shot. Three, if you recall, when he didn't get the result last time, he said it. I don't even know if I'm going to fight for this organization again. He was fuming. He
Yeah.
was like, and he threw it out there. And some people saying, oh, maybe that's why Dana threw him under the bus because he almost tried to blame it on the UFC that he didn't get the win
Mm,
somehow. When actually he was like, I don't know what's next for me. I don't even know if I want to fight for this organization again. Then they've
mm,
taken the P. Then he's come all the way back around again, and then other thing which I'm not too happy about the UFC about, and I think Ankalaev has also subtly put it in that Pereira hasn't wanted to fight me all these times, but now he wants to fight me now in March during Ramadan.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ramadan's just started. Yeah, isn't it?
Just
So
started. So it's like, is it the UFC? Is the Pereira, are they in cahoots with each other? Like, of all the time in now, and then like he's stipulated, I don't usually fight in Ramadan. But
mm,
this is such an opportunity that he's backed himself into a corner to go. I can't turn it down. I'm not giving them an excuse to go. I wouldn't fight during Ramadan, and then they'll never ask him again.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Definitely not. That's true. That's interesting. That's interesting. Let us know what you think of that guys in the comments. Let us know. Has it been a tactical,
Mm,
acceptance of fighting Ankalaev in Ramadan? That's an interesting one. That's an interesting take for sure.
it's crazy.
Nice. Yeah, predictions wise, what we thinking?
I think I'm gonna make a really cheeky tactical one. I'm looking at the odds as well. The odds, like, they're razor close. You can't. There's pretty much nothing between. It was -115
Really?
Pereira, -105 Ankalaev. That is a pick 'em. That's crazy, isn't it? On fight week,
Wow.
which I'm shocked at because I thought it would have been completely Poltan.
Skewed. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think it should be skewed to Poetan, unless
yeah.
other people know about his, activities.
Well, we're not
Extracurricular.
telling secrets here. It's all over social media. The
Yeah,
guy's having a good time.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was just Australian for a while.
So, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've got Poltan as my champ pick for the end of this year to still be champ, which in my tactical head gives me that safety net to go. Hey, he doesn't have to be champ for the whole year. He just has to be champ by the 31st of December. And I want to go with my gut feeling. And again, I don't know how, and I genuinely think Ankalaev has to do something spectacular to. If it's going to the decision, it needs to be so one-sided that he can't get robbed by the judges.
Yeah.
So I think his best bet here, he has to somehow put Pereira away, even if he's dominating the fight. He has to put him away, whether it's just like, no, I know he's got no submissions or whatever, but he's got to be so dominant where he's clearly the winner or he knocks him out. Based on the way Poltan is scaring me, I'm just not sure that. I think, he's had a good run. How long can that run go on for?
Yeah.
And like I said, I think for me it would be stupid of me not to go for the younger man based on everything I've said about the younger guys coming up this year and opportunities they'll have, and the fact that all the odds have been so stacked against him. I just think he's going to have a lot of fire in his belly, and I think it's going to be all about the game plan that him and his camp come up with. So I would love to see Ankalaev take it, but we know if he does, he's getting a rematch. There'll be a rematch, 100%.
Yeah, no, there will be. And I can't disagree with you. I really can't. Like, from everything that we've talked about, the analysis that we've done, it's not looking good, bruv. it's not looking good, bruv. But yeah, it's just to mix it up. Obviously, I'll say Pereira, but I'm not convinced by that. It's just to be different. That's all I'm going to do it. But yeah, Ankalaev being dominant, Ankalaev can take him down. If he's smart, and he gets him on the ground and just lays pounds on him, lays fists on him, then yeah, I can see an Ankalaev win here. So
and that's what he's got to do. He must have learned from that Yan lesson where he was on top, but he didn't do nothing with it. He has to know that if he gets in these positions, he has to stay busy. Has to be an absolute dirty box, elbows. Has to just throw everything at him. And I think, why not? Because if you get on top of Pereira, in my head, and we haven't seen it, it's not like we're aware that he's some top level BJJ guy who can catch an arm and submit. No, no one's seen that. Not even from training tapes. Everything, even from training that we've seen, has been him not taking people down, but how to anti-wrestle. So in my head, if you can take him down, you need to make him pay. And you can, I believe Ankalaev can make him pay and be reckless at it and not worry about submissions or triangles getting thrown up.
Yeah, and that's the perfect position to be when you're free with no fear of that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, interesting one. That is for the light heavyweight title bout. Let us know what your opinions are. Let us know what you think of our analysis. But also, in the meantime, get in the likes. Please subscribe, like. All comments are much appreciated. We respond to all comments, not the disrespectful ones, but we don't get that many disrespectful ones, to be fair. And if we do, we just air them and somebody else will laugh at the disrespect on our behalf. So
it's true. It's very true.
It is all good. So going on to the co-main, but a lot of changes for the co-main, for the lightweight bout. Gaethje versus Fiziev. Obviously, we were meant to have Gaethje versus Hooker, which, in the words of Mardy, would have been the ultimate just bleed match. Just bleed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm majorly disappointed that we're not getting Hooker versus Gaethje. And when I heard about this matchup instead, my head was like, just seeing, I was like, I swear I've seen them fight before. Like, not just seeing them on TV fight, as in I was there. And then I realised I actually was there in London.
Yeah, you have, yeah. And I remember, because when you were sending me some of the content, I remember it. It's a rematch. And, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. But it's not Gaethje Hooker good fight. It's not. And it's an interesting one, though, because we've not heard of Fiziev for a while. I've not seen him fight for a while. In all honesty, I don't know where he's been. I don't know if he's been injured or not.
Yeah, so he lost. Obviously, he lost that. I think it was April. I want to say April 2023. We fought Gaethje. March. My bad. March, and he lost to.
23.
And I remember that night. Obviously, I remember that night because obviously I was there. Plug. But I remember that night because where I was sat. It was pretty contentious. Like people weren't. The feeling in the arena wasn't behind Gaethje winning that fight on decision. To be fair, I
Really?
remember it clearly. No, it wasn't, and it's probably one I need to go back and rewatch myself. But I thought clearly, I remember from my memory, Fiziev 100% won the first round, and then it felt
Yeah.
like Gaethje got into it. So I think I might have even scored it at the end of the night. So I don't think it was a clear Gaethje win. I think it might have been razor close, or could have been a draw. It was like one of those fights where it was close, but because it was a decision and it was a majority decision, I think it felt. Because I remember even seeing at the after party, I saw his manager, because his manager was with Kaz, I think Kaz Quasley. So
Yeah.
Kaz was part of his entourage. Didn't see Fiziev, and the manager's face was like someone had died. And like he was asking people around what he thought, and everyone was like, "No, we think your guy won." And I remember even Kaz
Wow.
saying, "What do you?" Because I think obviously he trains out a lot in Thailand, so and obviously Kaz is always over in Thailand. I think she's half Thai and she fights as well. To be fair, she can throw
Yeah.
hands, so she was sad as well, going, "Oh no, he got robbed," and a few other people were saying it. So it was a contentious decision at the time. I want to go back and rewatch it, but I remember from the night, considering how much everyone likes Gaethje, not many people were saying he won that.
Wow, that's interesting. That makes sense actually, because he Gaethje came out and he said something. I read something that he said that he wants to put something to bed because there was some contentious talk around his first fight with Fiziev, and I couldn't remember and I couldn't recall what that was. And obviously that's probably what it was, the talk of maybe he didn't win convincingly, maybe all the rounds weren't, well, we know all the rounds weren't his, but maybe the unanimous decision or the majority decision shouldn't have been the right decision. So I think Gaethje now is coming into this and say, hey, do you know what, he's not fighting Hooker. Oh well, but at least I get a chance now to beat Fiziev and put this one to bed once and for all. And I think actually I do remember, because I think when we previewed this fight the last 2 years ago, I think I called Fiziev to win, because before then Gaethje was a different fighter. I think that was the first fight that we saw Gaethje in this controlled aggression. Rather than just coming out and swinging. And it'll be interesting to see, because he also said, Gaethje said that he's going to be more aggressive in this fight as well. And so I was thinking, okay, that's interesting, because if he's more aggressive, we're going to look like the uncontrolled aggressive Gaethje that we're so used to. Obviously Gaethje is he coming off that loss to Max? I don't think
that's his that'd be like his last fight.
So
Matt, so that's almost exactly a year ago. It was April 2024.
Wow.
He's had a good break away. He's had a full year to get over that. And let's be honest, that was a filthy knockout.
That was horrible.
That was disgusting.
That was horrible. So yes, okay. So it's redemption for both of them. What's Fiziev actually? What's his ranked?
I think he's been injured as well for Fiziev. I think so he lost to Gaethje in March 2023. Came back in September 23, but then I think it was a knee injury, potentially ACL, and then it ended up being a TKO. But I remember it was because he went down injured in the second round. So that was September 2023.
Right.
So he didn't fight at all last year.
Wow. Okay. That's that's a lot. So he's not been as active. Okay. Well, it probably would play more into Gaethje's hands, because he has a win over him, because he's been more active. He's still not fought until, as you said, until last April, but he's more active. There might be a bit of ring rust, injury scares. He's going to get injured again, sort of thing. But for me, Fiziev has nothing to lose, where I think Gaethje does have something to lose. You know, Gage is at a stage now where he was going to fight Hooker. Hooker was actually rated and ranked decent, you know, after Hooker's last win. Fiziev now, I don't think his ranking's not going to be as big. Gage wants to fight somebody above him, but you know, there's not many opportunities when you look at the lightweight division with people being booked, people that he's already fought, and as you were saying before, the names in the lightweight division, people have fought everybody, like really and truly. He's fought Fiziev before. He's fought Hooker before. Sorry, not Hooker. He's fought Dustin Poirier before. He's fought Max before. You know, he's fought Chandler before. He's fought all of these guys. You know, and actually, we do want to see some new fights in there. Fiziev obviously took the call and took the fight, and fair play to him. But everybody else, why would they fight Gaethje really and truly? I heard Arman said that he was interested, but he wanted to do it at catch weight or something.
Did you hear what the catch weight number was as well?
No,
because I heard one number, but I think Gaethje was speaking to Mike Bisping in the last couple of days. Yeah, and I heard the catch weight that apparently that Arman had thrown out there was 160. And I was like, okay, that's not too bad. But Gaethje went and said, no, it wasn't 160, it was 170. And I was like, what?
Nah, with a week to go, nah. A week and a half whenever it was announced. Yeah, that's a bit unfair.
And then Gaethje was like, I go to bed at 170 now.
Yeah, so he'd already done the cut, you know, it's that's not ideal. That's not ideal. So
I think there were some other options. I think he said because Manny Moicano was making a lot of noise on social media, they just called him directly, and then he didn't actually want the fight.
Where's the money? You don't want the money.
Who else was there? So Arman was with the catch weight situation. Fiziev. He named it. I think looking at it, I think Fiziev might have been like 4th or 5th choice. I think the UFC were going through the options, and then obviously Fiziev did put his name up nice and early, but they didn't say yes straight to him straight away. They went down the rankings accordingly, and Fiziev was the only one who was like, "Yeah, I'll make the weight, and yeah, I can do it in that time." But everyone else had a condition, or they were just too heavy. You know, upon calling where the weight cut would have just been too much.
Yeah, this is it. And I want to see, actually, let me get the lightweight rankings up, because I want to see where Gaethje is. And because for me, it's at the moment
he's third, and Fiziev is 11th in the rankings.
He's third?
He's third, Gaethje.
And he's not fought since... That's interesting. Okay, fair dues. So, okay. Well, actually, so that changes my perspective on things, because I was thinking it might be a risk for some people, but actually, if some people wanted to make a name for themselves and make a living off somebody else's name, they could just say yes to that fight. Obviously, if you're looking at Charles, it's a risk for him. He's not going to do it short notice. You know, he's already beaten him. Poirier wants to do it in Louisiana, doesn't he, for his last fight? Max. I think maybe they might have asked Max already. I think Max was one of the guys on the list, as you were saying. Hooker is obviously out. Chandler's booked.
I think Gamrot put his name up, but I think the UFC stylistically didn't want that fight. I heard Gamrot did put his name up. Gamrot was tweeting and everything as soon as he found that, but I think it was the UFC was like, nah, that style. Like they wanted to get as close as style to Hooker. Let's be honest. You've got a banger of a fight, then you've got Gamrot who's going to respectfully, you know, quatch sniff.
Yeah.
The UFC were like, nah, allow it. Not as a co-main.
Better play.
Obviously, I haven't heard anything about Benny Dariush. Don't know if he was too heavy, or you know, maybe his last fight got cancelled. He still got paid, and he got paid win. So he's on holiday. I remember he even said it to taking the family on holiday after a full camping and no fight. So that's probably why he probably hasn't even got his phone. And then going down the rankings. You know, it's crazy. Like Jalen Turner, he's already on this card already, so he's booked, and Paddy Pimblett's booked against Chandler. So that is the division. That's pretty
Yeah,
much
that's
it.
it.
And then you got Benoit Saint Denis, who's 15, and God knows where he is after what happened to him in Paris. So
Yeah, that's true. But this is a big opportunity for Fiziev, then bigger than probably what he's had before. Yeah, it's a no-brainer for him. He goes out
yeah,
there, he puts on a show. Does he just take that number 3 ranking? You know, fair play. The hunger must be there. You know, he's probably out there in Thailand. I think he trains in Thailand at Thai
yeah,
Muay Thai, doesn't he?
yeah.
So he's obviously there, keeping active, hungry after he's been out for nearly 2 years. Yeah, yeah. Fiziev is nothing to lose, everything to gain. So
100%.
I think that hopefully would look like a better matchup now that obviously Gagey said he's going to come out and he's going to be more aggressive. So actually, I'm looking forward to this fight. I am.
Just yeah, I mean, it's the last minute nature scares me. I mean, it's not as last minute as we've seen lately in the UFC. But you know, he hasn't fought for that long. He's now what? Let's say I think something like 13 days notice. He's stepping in to be the co-main. Makes sense as well, obviously, because I think initially, I don't know if you heard the statement, Gaethje versus Hooker was meant to be a 5-round fight. I think he was on Ariel Helwani, and Ariel was like, "Oh, why is it 5 rounds?" And then Hooker's answer was because the UFC wants someone to die.
Fair play. Booker says what he wants, and what a comeback that is. It's true.
Because the UFC wants someone to die. I was like, the UFC wants to catch a body for the first time.
Look, 5-round fights. Yeah, somebody's going to hospital after that fight. 100%.
Jeez, somebody's gonna die tonight. So obviously they seen sense and they've made this a 3-round fight. Odds wise, obviously Justin is favourite, not by a mountain slide to be fair, but yeah, it's definitely favourite.
Okay.
Yeah, it could. I just want to see how Fiziev comes in. I think it's going to be interesting. You know, I think the embeddeds are out. I think the first one came out a couple of hours ago. Definitely want to see if he features in that and see what shape he's in, because I think
Yeah.
could be interesting, because the break could have been a good break. They both had a break, but Fiziev, he would have had obviously. I think he had surgery as well and rehab in that time.
Okay.
It was a bad
A
knee
lot.
injury, so yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. I like him. I've always liked his style.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was having a great one up to fighting Justin as well. Hence why he got Justin, you know, in the first place. So yeah, I like Fiziev. I just think maybe maybe he's jumped the gun a bit in terms of taking opportunity. But then it's back to your point, like you become the company man, you save the day, you save such a high profile fight, and if you do bits, he could end up in the top 5 in the rankings just like that.
There we go. There we go. It's a good opportunity for him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I might have to go with Fiziev in this one. You know, I might
Oh,
have to just put it
what?
out there. I might have to just put it
Ooh.
out there and go with Fiziev. Yeah, just the unknown factor about him. He might be a whole new fighter. He might be the same fighter, but he might be a whole new fighter as well. You know, hungry. Might be
Yeah.
card of the hungry.
Let's see. What's I'm obsessed with ages now as well. Let me look. Wow, Justin, 36.
Is he the same age as Kamari?
Ooh, young man, Fiziev, 31.
Oh, there we go.
Yo, these fighters are getting old, bro. I'm telling you,
Getting there.
these
It's
fighters
true.
are getting on. How's Justin Gaethje 36 now?
It's that's true. We need,
Crazy.
yeah, these even the new breeds of fighters coming up now, they're going to be the present day. They're going to be the staple, you know.
It's crazy, but do you know what? Like, and you kind of touched on it. Justin's record is amazing, though. And you look at like his debut. You know, was it his UFC debut? Is that right? Yeah, it was debut. Michael Johnson,
Ooh,
2017.
he starched him.
Starched
Is
him
that
TKO second round. Debut, bro. Then he lost to the Underground King Eddie Alvarez. Then he lost. Then he went on. Then he lost to Dustin, their first fight.
Oh yeah.
Took a step back. Then he beats Vic. Beats Adson Barboza. Beats Donald Cerrone.
All
Went to
round.
2020. And then remember what he did to Ferguson in 2020? I will never forget that.
Oh, that was when Ferguson was like, he had cobwebs in his.
When it was empty, remember, we could hear every single. Remember that? Like, it felt like the mic was amplified for that fight. It was just pure violence. Then lost to Khabib, bounced back against Chandler, lost to Oliveira, beat Fiziev, beat Poirier, lost to Holloway. The guy's CV is like, he's fought everyone.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
That's why he's ranked 3, bro. I know you asked the question, but that's why he's ranked 3.
That is very true. And that Holloway was just coming up from.
Holloway just jumped up, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that shouldn't play a big difference in the rankings.
No. And I think I remember at the time. I think because obviously he was the bigger man, Gaethje was heavy favourite for that as well. I think he was the favourite to beat Holloway. But yeah, Holloway just did what he does best. But for me, I've got to say I like Gaethje for this. I like the way he's talking. I want to see. I think he's gonna be coming back with the full redemption song in his head, to the extent where it's actually literally probably going to be. He'll probably come out and have it playing. Like, they asked him, I saw an interview. I can't remember who was interviewing. Like, who's your favorite band? And he said Bob Marley and the Wailers. And when you're listening to him training, they've always got Bob Marley on. And I was like, of course.
Yeah, play. All I ever need.
So yeah, I think the stars are aligned for him to come back. I'm just worried about Fiziev because it would be his 3rd defeat on the bounce. I think.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, he's like we said. There's a massive award if he pulls it off. But I think, I don't think. I just don't see Justin losing this.
Fair play.
Yeah, he can't. We're talking about last chance saloon. This is, he's ranked number 3 right now. This is his last chance at the age of he is to make a run at the title. And yeah, for now, he's probably 2 fights away. This one and then one more after that, and then it's title shot time. But if you do something viral or something crazy, then you could jump the queue. And obviously, as we know, Arman's still in purgatory. We don't know what Arman needs to do to get back up there. Arman could have taken this fight, which would have given him a lot of credit in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're throwing out that you need to fight at a 170 catch weight, that's telling me he's probably 190, 200 right now.
Yeah. Who wants to fight welterweight? Nah. Nah, remove yourself, lad.
And you can't be fighting at welterweight weight limit to then be fighting for the lightweight belt in your next fight, because you didn't even fight lightweight in the fight before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you look like lightweight.
So
that's interesting.
Stay ready. I love the fact Fiziev has stayed ready. Arman, come on, Matt. Come on, bro. Do better, because technically, you've said no again. Technically.
It's true. It's true. 170. Who's really in their right mind is going to say yes? I'll do 170 when they're just over a week for the fight.
Yeah. So I think it's redemption song time. That's got to get played on the night.
Come on, Justin.
Yes. So that is main and co-main boxed off for UFC 313 this weekend. T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Any honourable mentions in terms of the rest of the card? We've got Jalen Turner. That used to be one of your guys back in the day. I remember you were like, I've noticed as well. I was thinking about this in the car earlier. I was like, whenever you're pushing the guy, I was like, I think you always go for the guys who, if you were a fighter, you want to be. They're always black, they're always long, and they're always tall and scrawny. I'm like, I think you like.
That's why I love Izzy so much, you know.
You put yourself, you're like, yeah, that's me. I'm backing this guy. And you back them from early.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Same with Jamal Hill. You were backing him from
It's
early.
back in the day, it's true. But Jalen, I like Jalen fell off, you know.
Oh gosh.
But
Oh my
let's
gosh, I'll
see.
never forget. What did he do? Oh, do you remember what he did against Money Marcano?
He had
When
him. He had
he
him.
had him and he tried to do the walk off. And the referee was like, Herb Dean was like, what you doing? Fight.
Yeah, and then he come on, just lost after that. And the next, yeah, that was annoying. That was annoying. If he coaches, then you would have been pissed off. Pissed off.
I remember seeing that live and I was thinking, what is he doing?
Yeah, that was crazy scenes. Crazy scenes.
Oh gosh. So yeah, Jalen Turner, he's on the card. Amanda Lemos, she's on the card. King Green versus Mauricio Woofy. King Green bouncing back after that Paddy demolition job, coming back up against a fighting nerd. So that'll be
Yeah.
interesting. Curtis Blades is heading up the prelims.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. And
Heavyweights.
then there's a lot of, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of I don't know you, I don't know you, I don't know you, I don't know you, respectfully, I don't know you, 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 I don't know you. That is the rest of the card.
It's true. Hopefully people can start to put a name for themselves, and yeah, let's see what goes on.
Exactly that. Boom. Have we got anyone in the comments? Nah, all good.
Let's take a look.
In the comments.
No.
There's tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed, all good. Everyone's watching embedded, that's why.
That's it. Straight off the cuff.
Boom. Right. UFC 313, is that a wrap?
Indeed. Show us some love, comment, like, subscribe. We're here for you, baby.
That's it. That's it. That's the King's Court UFC 313 preview show. Your guy Obasogi.
Guy Mardy.
Over and out. Peace.
Peace.
All right.